Hey guys, has this lockdown made you lose track of your fitness goals? Are you starting your resolution for 2021 and you want to lose weight but need some help? Introducing my affordable workout plans for men and women. With packages starting at $5, this offer can't be beat. Go to radicallatino.com to find out more. Hey guys, do you have a product you want more eyes on? Advertise with the Radical Latino Show with over 10K podcast downloads and the number 25 spot on the 55 All Latin podcast list. You'll want your product heard on everyone's phones and cars. Go to radicallatino.com/contacts and start advertising today.
Playing the Radical Latino Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands in the air for New York's very own.
Latino is taking you to another level.
I think there's more radicals than Sivo. Radical Latino, you're buffing it. The radical point of views, I think his views are actually more dangerous.
Hear that? It's like the pulse of the street. A hole of the chest.
Yo! What up, my people? Welcome back to another episode of the Radical Latino Show. It's your host, the Radical Latino, aka number 17 on all Latin podcasts, aka number 24 on all Bronx podcast YouTube influencer list. Shout out to y'all for that one. Thank you. And also, Mr. Unsuable for 57. Actually, 7 at 57. Let's not forget. 57 weeks running. What is going on, my people? What up? I hope everybody is having a great time. I hope everybody is having a great week. A lot of updates. First of all, I want to give a huge round of applause for all my new listeners, all my new fans, and all my new people listening to your boy. And as always, this podcast episode is sponsored by my Murch store. So if you guys want to go and definitely represent, you know what I'm saying? Go represent and cock that joint back and actually pull the trigger, you know what I'm saying? And get y'all merch from your boy. The link is going to be down below, and also for the podcast listeners, it's going to be on the details section of the podcast, right? So you guys just go check it out. I'm telling you, I got a bunch of nice, crazy, cool designs, and this is going to be the last week you guys can go cop it. So definitely go get it now. The most popular one right now, it's In My DNA, Mexican and Latin unity. So they're pretty much neck and neck right now. So definitely go cop that right now. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all definitely want to be, you know, cheering when y'all get that merch. So this episode is sponsored by my merch store. Go to radicallatino.com, go to the merch, go to the link right there that's provided, and you guys will go right to the store. And it's a limited run. I always do my joints limited run, so definitely go cop that right now. I want to just give another small announcement. You know what I'm saying? Another small little announcement. This is gonna be the last podcast that's gonna be non-visual. You know what I'm saying? The last podcast. Yeah. Don't get surprised. Don't feel no type of way or anything like that. But I'll definitely be back. I'm thinking around a week or 2 weeks, because I got things to set up, I got things to look over, and I got things to pretty much handle. You feel what I'm saying? So in a week or 2 weeks, go to my Instagram and Twitter at radical_Latino_, and I'm definitely gonna keep y'all up to date. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gonna keep y'all up to date, so you guys won't miss when the new episode is gonna come, but I am gonna take a week or two. Actually, I'll decide. I'll put an announcement, but it's either a week or 2 weeks off. One, I got a lot of things that I gotta take care of, you know, for the podcast. You know, gotta make everything look good visually and all that other stuff. And also, it's my birthday week. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be my birthday week in October. You know, I'm a Libra. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. You know, shout out to my Libra gang. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all my Libra gang. You feel me? Like I want to give a huge shout out to all my Libra friends, you know, all my Libra supporters, because you know Libras are the best, obviously. You know what I'm saying? Libras are the best. All those other little, you know, little horoscopes, yeah, alright, but Libras are the best. You know, for some reason I cannot escape Geminis. For some reason Geminis always attract me, or I'm attracted to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why, but it is what it is. So shout out to all my Libra gang. Another thing about the podcast being non-visual. This will be the last non-visual episode, is because again you gotta upgrade and update your joint. You know, so I gotta. Some people know already what I'm doing. I've already seen little sneak peeks of what I'm doing behind the scenes. Other people have not. So I already, you know, invested in 4K cameras, you know, equipment, lights, and all that other stuff. So, you know, the soundboard, you know what I'm saying? So there's small things that I'm doing and small things that I already got pretty much set up, and I'm waiting for, actually, you know, in order to, you know, collect everything and unify it together. You know what I'm saying? And also, I'm going to be working with a sponsor pretty soon. So definitely look forward to that. You know, new sponsors on the way and all that other stuff. Now, since this is going to be the last, you know, non-visual podcast, my next live that I'm going to be putting out will be, you know, another, you know, small, somewhat controversial episode and live, and I definitely want you guys to not miss it. You know what I'm saying? So definitely go out and check my next live that I'm going to be announcing pretty soon. You know, it's going to be about basically toxic relationship. You know what I'm saying? But I got 2 titles working right now, so I'll definitely announce it like around Thursday or Friday which one it is. You know what I'm saying? So just definitely go look out, you know, for that episode. Now I did a live actually last the Saturday that just passed on, you know, were the indigenous people of the Americas, Black or Native. The reason why I did such a live is because of, you know, I've been seeing this you know, this commentary and this type of you know, conversations being had all over, you know, either, you know, the social medias, and also I've seen it happen in certain small sectors and groups. And the thing is, I saw it, and I was very interested in wondering, why is this such a hot topic? And not only a hot topic, but why is it a topic, you know, overall, you know? And I found out that there's a lot of misinformation that is being told, and a lot of misinformation that is being said, you know. Also, I didn't find it good to or beneficial to actually that I'm seeing that certain people, you know, pretty much, you know, calling other people names and all this. I found that, you know, unnecessary, and I found that pretty much I felt some type of way about it. I found that very disrespectful and unnecessary. So I was like, what's the point? There's no point of this. Like, why is this even, you know, a thing? You know, why is this even like something that should be even, you know, talked about or done? But I understand curbing misinformation is, you know, extremely important. And my main thing for that live was to educate non-educated people. Mind you, I'm not saying I'm the smartest person out here. I need education myself, right? And it was usually done for me. I don't know 100% of everything, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to indigenous history, I am completely clueless on indigenous history. I know some bits and pieces here and there to help me a little, you know, survive a little bit, but I am not 100% well-rounded in indigenous history whatsoever. So I look to other people to inform me, to let me know what it is, to break things down, because I don't know everything. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know everything. So definitely go check that out. There, you know, in the beginning, I put a couple of disclaimers. I even talk about and give somewhat of not a warning, but somewhat of a, you know, a content creator to content creator, you know, constructive criticism, some would say, to another creator that goes by, you know, American Defense League. You know, they're definitely doing wonderful job over there in that side, and you know, definitely shout out to them. But there's a few people that might see what they're doing and take advantage of what they're doing and try to bogart their little small agenda into it, you know. So again, this is not no shot at them or whatever. It's just something that I've noticed, because in any movement, in any, you know, political realm, or in any you know, social activist role that anybody is a part of, there's always going to be people there try to be detractors. There's always going to be people that is going to try to negatively influence or be a part of something, but slowly poison it from the inside. And we got to be more astute to catching things like that. We have to be more astute and smart to see the type of games that they're playing, because if we don't, then we're going to get caught with the okie doke. If we don't catch, you know, these people from what they're doing and call them out, rightfully so, we're gonna be left out in the dust. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing is, for any positive movement, is to actually be left out in the dust. Any positive movement to actually, you know, be perceived one way and then saying that, oh no, yeah, actually the other way. That is the biggest hurt and fallout for any political movement that's trying to do some positive change and positive education to a set group of people, you know. So that's the reason why I gave my disclaimer. That's the reason why I gave my, you know, my creator to creator, you know, type of you know, talking point. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to them. Hopefully they heard it and they didn't you know, find it negative or whatever the case is, because that was not my intention whatsoever. It's just they have to vet the people that they bring around. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody is not going to be in the movement or be on code like they should, and they're going to take advantage of set unity and pretend or be negatively part of something. You know what I'm saying? So just more power to them. Shout out to them, and you know, wish them the best, you know. And again, I want you guys to check out my live for this Saturday. The title is up in the air. I'll definitely make an announcement of what set title should be or will be or whatever, but definitely go look out for that. And on my live, I'm pretty much gonna set in stone how long I'm gonna be out, for a week or 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? I'm still debating it in my head. Anyway, this is episode 159. You know, I'm sorry. This is episode 159, but I'm going to be reading comments. I'm sorry. I'm going to be reading comments from episode 158, interviewed my brother, the comedian, Cupcake, in Lack, you know what I'm saying? In Cal, you know what I'm saying? So, it was a wonderful episode. It's been a long time coming with an episode with him. I wasn't sure the road that I was gonna take it in, but it was a wonderful thing that I did, and it just flowed naturally, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely like that. It flowed naturally. It flowed, stupendously. It flowed in a way that it was not in the natural conversation. So I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. One of the comments, Marquise 912. Go check homie Marquise out. He has a channel. He's actually putting out a lot more content. Definitely a big shout out to him. He says Radical be coming through with fire interviews. Yes, thank you very much. That's the reason why I do it. You know what I'm saying? I be inspiring even the little people. Shout out to Tina. You know what I'm saying? Franking up from another wonderful content creator. Shout out to him. It's a very good interview with Incal. It's true that a stare is great from the therapy to deal with one's issue. The people who laugh at dark humor do so because they can relate to the irony of the situation in their own life. 100% true. 100% people laugh next to them is relatable. Yeah, 100% true. That's something that I've noticed. I've noticed that not a lot, but most comedians do come from dark places, and they use humor the way I interpret it. They use humor as a way to cope, and I think that's a really good important therapy type of protection. I'll just say that protection, and there was a lot of things in this interview that was said that I wasn't even aware of. Mind you, whenever I do interviews, whenever I speak to people, I always ask them beforehand, is there anything you want to not talk about? Is there anything you want to leave out on the table? Is there anything that you don't want me to mention? And trust me, like I said, like that was not one of the things I thought he was going to mention, and he just said at the beginning, he was like, no, it's all good, go ahead, do your thing. And then when we get into the interview, he mentioned something. I was like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. But, definitely shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I asked the questions that I needed to ask. There was a couple of more things that I wanted to get into, but it is what it is. Definitely go shout out to him. I've seen some of his stand-up works. He's actually really cool with Russell Peters, which I didn't even know. So definitely huge shout out to him. So definitely go watch that interview and enjoy that interview. And talking about interviews, this is yet another interview episode with my wonderful, beautiful sister, Universe Trip. Now, Universe Trip, she ain't nothing to play with. You know what I'm saying? She be coming cocked, you know what I mean? And she ready. She ready with that. You know what I'm saying? She's ready with that. You feel me? And she's always coming with fire and the facts. Some of the things I disagree with. I'm not gonna say that I agree with everything. And that's for everybody. I don't agree with everybody. You know what I'm saying? But some of the core things I agree with, and some of the things I disagree with, right? But I wanted to basically pick her brain to understand a little bit more where she comes from, a little bit more on how she sees the world, a little bit more how she deals with the world, because as anybody knows, people who are non-white, we move through this world very differently from our white counterparts, from our white predecessors, right? So we move around in this world pretty differently, and I know for a fact that they don't see the world how we see through the lenses of set victims. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that we have a victim mentality, but we just got to keep it real. Some of us like to lie about it, but we got to keep it real that we are victims in a system of white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the hard truth. That's the bitter truth. Once we start knowing that and being conscious about that, we shouldn't just say, oh, well, I'm just going to be a victim. I'm just going to sit down and just take it. No, we actually have to go out there and work hard. Sometimes, unfortunately, even harder than the next person, you know. So that's just the unfortunate truth. But you know, Universe Trip is a wonderful person, a wonderful, you know, a being and energy that I came across in this space, you know, of unity, who I had the wonderful pleasure of running into and meeting, you know. And she brings in wonderful perspectives into womanhood, into the dynamics of Black women and Black men, into the dynamics of just relationships, into the dynamics of a lot of things that a lot of people don't tend to even talk about or see or visualize and break down. A lot, because of the modern world right now, we're too busy with bills, jobs and all this other stuff, and other social things kind of get left or ignored until we actually sit back and take a deep breath and start, breaking it down, and then we go like, well, this is kind of messed up. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to Universe Trip for this interview that me and her did, or should I say her and I, you know what I'm saying, that we did. Mind you, she is a firecracker, you know what I'm saying? She don't stop, she says it how it is, and it is what it is. She's been in plenty of my lives, and every time she comes in, she be getting some people riled up, and it's understandable. A lot of times when people say the unfortunate truth, or when they say something that isn't 100% agreed upon, they get visceral type of reactions, and it happens. It happens. Look at all the haters I be getting, from these, Hispanic wannabe white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? Just look at that. So it is what it is. The whole point is they don't stop you. They actually motivate you, and they keep on. They actually help your message to move on forward. All right. Enough of all that. With that being said, this is the interview with Universe Trip. Enjoy. Yo, it's your boy, Radical. So I always bring you guys special interviews. I always bring you guys special guests. And this time isn't any different. I got the one and only, the most controversial feminist. No, let me stop. Some people might call her a feminist. Some people might not. Who knows? But I got right now Universe Trip. What's going on?
Hey, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right. Just chilling. Thank you for coming in. And thank you for actually, voicing most of your opinions on some of the live streams that I host and stuff. So I know that you're very, you like to push the line a little bit, so we're just gonna give you a big shout out to you. So
it's not like you want to push the line. It's just, presenting an alternative perspective that
yeah, gotcha.
Known, so
No, yeah, I got you. So real quick, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Universe Trip, a YouTuber, a graduate student in computing, and a new real estate investor. Just bought my first real estate property, so rental property. So I'm happy about that.
Okay, all right. What was acquiring this rental property like hard? Was it easy? Did you get some coaching while you were doing it?
It was pretty tough, but I had been raised by real estate investors. Like my aunt that raised me in Baltimore had me out working at her rental property since I was 7. So it's just kind of like family. So I had a lot of help from family members, a lot of support. A lot of free furniture they threw at me, so that was really
Yeah. I trust me, I know how that free furniture game goes, you know what I'm saying? Trust me. So what was it? Did you have to look at certain properties in order to like estimate some of the values, or did you just go one off and say, like this house, I like how it looks? How did that happen?
So I have a cousin who's a real estate investor, but primarily a real estate agent. And she's like a star real estate agent, one of the best in the city.
Yeah,
And I was like, look, I need a house. You know, pandemic
yeah,
is here. Like everybody kicked off of campus. Like I need to put my money in a place where I can build equity in an asset instead of paying someone else's like mortgage, right?
yeah.
And I told her I wanted a multifamily so that I could house hack, meaning I could live in a unit and then rent out the other unit so that
Gotcha.
if you know what I mean, like I'm a student, I move around a lot. I go to New York often, back and forth from Maryland to New York. So it's
Yeah,
like I'm not really settled. So it helps if I had help the mortgage, right? So
yeah.
she had been looking for me for a couple of months, and one day she just sat down. She's like, "This is your house. I'm gonna help you get it."
Mm,
And I was like, okay. And I basically just do everything she tells me to do. Like she's
yeah.
multi-millionaire. I don't know nothing. She know everything. So I just listen to her.
All right, then shout out to you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Anybody that wants some rental advice tips, definitely, hit her up. You know what I'm saying? Just
You know,
keep it business. Keep it business. Don't, you know what I'm saying?
if you're looking for property in Baltimore, Maryland, hit me up and I'll ask my cousin. She'll hook you up.
All right. Well, she charges a little connection fee. You feel me? So, don't think that this is just gonna be just no, let me stop. I gotta get my 5%. No, let me stop. So I know a lot of people are probably gonna ask, what's your ethnicity? What would you answer that?
I'm a Black American. So ADOS, as they say now, right?
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Descendant of Black people who were enslaved in the United States.
Yeah. Gotcha. 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 So
Mhm.
so real quick, t- tell us how you first got into this woke culture, as they would say. How did you start to actually find yourself and learn a little bit more of the history of the ADOS people in America?
Okay, so unfortunately, growing up, I went to predominantly white schools because my aunt didn't want me going to school in Baltimore City. She was like,
Uh
"Look,
oh.
um, she was like, look, you can live here with me, but you're definitely not going to school here because the school system sucks." So she
Yeah.
sent me to school out in Anne Arundel County, which is where Annapolis is, which is the capital of Maryland, right? And it was
Gotcha.
horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I was always the only Black kid in my class and I would get lynch threats. I mean, like little white kids would chase me home, threatening to burn crosses in my
What?
yard, in my parents' yard.
What?
I was called the N word, B word multiple times. Like I would get in a
Yeah.
fight. Like it would be. It would. I've had little kids tell me, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like I can't play with you because my parents don't like Black people." So I mean, like
Wow.
talking about from a very young age, I understood that okay, being Black means something. Like this is like a very peculiar experience, and I've just always held on to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten a lot of opportunities as well.
Yeah.
I won
Gotcha.
something called the Princeton Prize in Race Relations because I
Yeah.
held a lot of leadership roles in my very white school around
Got it.
diversity and inclusion. So they sent me to
Got it.
Princeton for the weekend and gave me like a rack. So
Gotcha. Oh, wow. Wow.
in high school. Well, I mean, I've been on this for a minute. And that was in high school, right? Like I'm a grad student now, so it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, they felt guilty. It was like, yo, no, no, no. She's probably gonna call us racist. Let's
they know,
just
but
throw some
they
money
know.
at her.
But here's the thing, though, right? Like I think it's really important for people of color to understand that when white people get involved in trying to reconcile for racism or white
Yeah,
supremacy, oftentimes it's not, it may seem like they feel guilty and it's about emotion, but it's not. They understand that it creates an unstable society, right? They understand that if you are actively oppressing a group of people or actively excluding people from access to healthcare, political engagement, education, healthy food, safe housing, if you're preventing people to have fair access to those things, they're going to resent you and they're probably going to make your life worse, right? So they know it's not about emotion. They understand that, they benefit.
No, I
Benefit
I feel you. I'm gonna give you one of these. That was hard. I'm not gonna lie. That was hard. That's actually pretty true. So it goes basically just segues to my next question. How did you deal with white supremacy, racism? How did you deal with that? At first, did you not understand it, and then you ended up understanding it later on? Like how did that happen?
It took time, and when I was young, I used to just it was so traumatizing. It was so traumatizing to never have any friends. It was so traumatizing to think that, okay, maybe this little white girl is my friend, but she's not because her parents don't want her to be, right?
Gotcha.
So, I was a loner. I coped with books and with reading, right? Like I excelled in school, got a huge full ride scholarship to an Ivy. I just used education.
Gotcha.
And I've just always been about it.
Gotcha. In your definition, how would you define white supremacy?
So white supremacy is a global system that privileges people of European descent, or anyone that can pass or appears to be of European descent. It makes whiteness a currency, and it ties in with capitalism, right? White supremacy is a system and institution. Like it's not about somebody feeling like they better. It's not about them actually being better. It's about having a system that will always put them on the top, that will always prioritize them in the hierarchy.
Gotcha.
It is in every way. I know people are like, okay, a system. What does that mean, a system? Well, we think about, let's talk about really the fundamental system. The most important one in this situation is economics, right? Like financial and economic system prioritizes them, right? Like they created capitalism. They created this system of labor exploitation on a huge scale. And these are the people who run these large corporations, which are the huge players in capitalism. You know what they are. They're white men.
Right?
Workers, the people who actually perform the labor are Black people, Native people, Indigenous people, Asian people. Like everybody really, but
everybody that's non-white. Yeah.
Well, there are white laborers too, but they have a better chance of rising through the ranks because they are recognized.
Of course, they'll be the overseers, the bosses, the managers, exactly. Those are the ones that's gonna like oversee basically the plantation, I would say.
And it's huge, like wealth being. This is the part that a lot of people don't understand, right? Like we've been duped into believing, like, oh, if you work really hard, you can be the same. Listen, if your ancestors, if your grandfather, your great great grandfather, your great great grandfather didn't pass down property, land, assets, stocks, bonds, businesses, it's going to be really hard for you to acquire that wealth. No,
I definitely agree. We're going to give you one of these. You know what I'm saying? So since we're talking about, since you mentioned, especially the patriarchy, did that start you hating men in general because of that? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, did it start? Did you just have a clipboard of like a figure of a man and just start throwing darts at it? Like what happened?
Check this though. Do you like white supremacy?
No. Why would I like that? Hell no.
Why would I like patriarchy? Right? Like
Mm.
me
Mm.
on a lower rung on the hierarchy, right? So just like
Yeah.
you don't like white supremacy because it puts you on a lower rung,
Yeah.
patriarchy puts women and non-straight men on a lower rung too, right?
Mm.
Like,
Okay.
why would we? That's like asking me, do I like patriarchy? Is like me asking you, do you like white supremacy? Like, of course. Why?
Mm.
That don't help you. It doesn't benefit you. Why would you like it?
Gotcha. So you basically blaming all men. No, let me stop. So one thing that I started to notice when it came to some of the the things that you brought up in your channel, and sometimes when you come into my live streams and you voice your opinion on certain things, and people come at you, it happens. It happens to everybody. Um, and something I yet fail to understand is the dynamics between black men and black women. Um, thing that I commend you for is that every time you say something, you actually back it up with statistical facts and and
Yeah,
numbers and
because you gotta
and things. So
because it's like I hate getting into these roundabout arguments when it's like, no, like I show my receipts, okay, you can show yours, and then we can have a conversation about what this means, but we're not just gonna
yeah,
say stuff. Just
yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Yeah. So tell us your opinion on the dynamics between
so
black men and black women.
I'm gonna share some facts that anybody can just Google right now. But
Okay.
right now, 80% of Black households in America have a woman breadwinner, a
Mm,
woman provider, someone that is contributing over 40%, right?
hmm.
And we all know that many children in the Black community, the vast majority of children in the Black community are born out of wedlock, upward to
Mm,
74%. 74%, like over
hmm.
7 to 10 kids um, will not be born to parents who are married. And I'm not saying that marriage is a great institution that everyone should follow. I'm just saying that in the society that we live in today, marriage is very useful for wealth building, for creating a sense of stability for children, for creating a sense of duty for both the man and the woman to stay together
Yeah.
through thick and thin.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, like, I understand the ramifications of 500 years of chattel slavery breaking up the Black family. I get that, but there's a huge issue with Black fathers walking out on their children. Like, I have countless cousins, family members who did not have their fathers in their life. Like, both my parents, who are
Yeah. Same
older,
here.
they're in their
Yeah.
70s now. Like, they didn't have their dad in their life.
Yeah.
They said he was like a deadbeat. Both of my grandfathers were deadbeats, right? I was lucky to have my dad in my life, but this is endemic in the Black community.
Got it.
And I just find a lot of people blaming the women, like, oh, it's the women, they're choosing wrong, and the
Yeah.
women, they're single
Yeah.
mother. And it's like, how are you
Yeah.
gonna blame the parent who stayed and did the job of two people?
Yeah.
And then but on the other hand, if that woman chooses to get an abortion, oh my gosh, she's a murderer. But
Yeah.
the likelihood of that woman having a kid and the father sticking around is so low, especially if you're a Black American. So it's like,
Yeah. Make it make sense.
it's kind of like, it's making me think, like, what is the incentive of even dealing with these men to begin with in that way, right? Because
Mm.
it's like,
So
okay,
so so you're basically saying like is gonna be a lose either way.
I mean, that's what it seems like. I mean, women are blamed.
Gotcha.
If they terminate these pregnancies, they're blamed. They're called murderers. If they come to term with the pregnancy and they have the baby and the man walks
Yeah.
out on them, they're blamed for being a
Yeah.
single mother, which is wild to me. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
wild
Yeah. Yeah.
understand how, because nobody can force a man to walk away from his own flesh and blood, right? Like nobody
Yeah.
can force, even
Yeah.
if the
Some
woman,
people would say nobody could force a woman to be pregnant either. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the argument that women have multiple forms of birth control, and also I've seen certain cases where the man does not want no kids, and the woman chooses to have the kid regardless of his input whatsoever, and she has it. So some people would say,
you know,
you know what I'm
you know,
saying?
it's really interesting that you bring up all these multiple forms of birth control for women.
Yeah.
Men have methods of birth control they can use too. They can use a condom. They can get a vasectomy. So again, my question to you is, why is if that man did not want a child, why
Yeah.
didn't he take the steps to make sure he
Yeah.
didn't have a child?
Not
He
because
could've
I can't feel nothing with a condom. First
he
of all, I'm
could've
allergic, all right? I'm allergic to condoms. Nah, get out of here with that. No, let me stop.
he
No.
could've done them.
I see
Me.
I
So
see
it's
no,
like,
I see your point. I see your point.
it's really pathetic. I just feel like it's so pathetic, like that
Yeah.
these men sit here and blame a woman after he gave her
But
his seed.
yeah.
It's like she
But
can't
but
see from you. She
now
can't
now now
rape.
I do I have seen the other side where they say that it's up to a woman also to be on birth control, to be,
I understand
up
that.
to date. But I've been with women myself that they didn't want kids, and they made sure that everything lined up for them not to have kids. You know what I'm saying?
Men
So
can do the same thing.
yeah,
Men can do the exact same thing. So the blame should not be placed solely on the woman. If that woman wanted a baby, she won't have a baby. If the man doesn't want a baby, now that's up to him to make sure he
yeah,
doesn't get the woman pregnant, because a woman can't get pregnant without a man's seed. So if you
yep,
giving a woman, I mean,
yeah.
like, man, it's like saying, when men say this, it's like they inadvertently say, I don't have control over my own body.
Mm,
And that's
mm,
because the government isn't making laws about forcing vasectomies on men to prevent abortion, right? Like that. I mean,
mm.
honestly, if abortion really got these men very angry, they would all go get vasectomies right now. Because
dare you?
Nah,
men,
get out of
men
here.
can get
I
countless
disagree. No, let me stop.
women every year. Men can get
No,
countless women pregnant every year. A woman can only
yeah,
have one pregnancy per year. So, I mean, honestly, to cut down abortions, to cut down unwanted pregnancies,
yeah,
give vasectomies instead of controlling a woman's uterus or attempting to
yeah,
control a woman's uterus with legislation. Why don't
yeah.
we control the real problem, which is male bodies that, a lot of these men say they don't even have a control of.
Mm.
Blaming a
So
woman when they gave the woman his seed.
yeah. So
I mean,
some I see your point. Some people might say that you're taking all accountability out of a woman. What would you say to that?
how would I be taking all accountability out of a woman? She cannot steal a man's sperm. I mean,
Mm,
sperm, his account. Shouldn't a man be responsible for his sperm?
mm. Eh,
She can't get
The
that. She just can go to the store and
the
buy some
the
sperm.
other part of that could be
Go to a
also,
sperm
is
bank.
it?
She got to find a lot of legal documentation saying she's going to be
Yeah.
the sole responsible
No,
guardian
no,
for
I
that.
feel you. I think there's other things also that say, we can also say that isn't she responsible for her own body as well?
Sure. I
would
and
you
I I would agree with that. And women that
yeah,
don't want to get pregnant, like you said, you were with a woman who really didn't want to get pregnant. She did everything in her power not to get pregnant.
oh no, she
But there
did X, Y, and Z. Yes.
are women that are like,
Yeah, true,
So
true. That's
if
true.
you're a man, that doesn't want a baby, and you dealing with a
Yeah.
woman that's, maybe I get pregnant, maybe not, I don't care. You're
Mm,
gonna give that woman
mm.
all the power to decide whether or not you become a father.
That's okay.
That's pretty
I see you. Okay, no,
like men are like
I see your point.
away from accountability. Because honestly, if we really want to talk about accountability, it's very rare that you will see a woman walk out on their kid. You don't see a bunch of women are
Mm,
accountable for their decisions, because when they lay up and have a kid, knowing they didn't take birth control, they stay
Mhm.
and they take care of their children, even if they have to be single mothers. But
I gotta give you that. Okay, all right, no, all right. I gotta give her that one. I gotta give her that. Okay, all right. I see what. I gotta
like
give her
it's
that one.
it's just rare that you see a single father. It's so
Yeah,
rare. You see a bunch of single mothers.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah,
women take accountability.
yeah.
Men do not.
Mm.
Because
Now,
and they will give
I'm
a woman his sperm. These men will
yeah,
give women their sperm.
yeah,
And then when you put something in somebody else's body, that's a part of
yeah,
their body now. It don't got nothing to do with you now until the baby come and when the legalities get involved, you got to pay child support. But you knew that. You knew that before you laid up with a woman. You knew that you could be put on child support.
yeah.
But yet and
Now,
still, you decided to
yeah,
have unprotected sex with that woman, and you
yeah.
decided to not get a vasectomy.
Now, some people will say, let's just go to this because I like the segue. What are what is your opinion on the women's rights now? Some men I've heard said, and I kind of agree a little bit that women have way more rights
Mm-hmm.
over a man than men have rights
Okay.
now. And
Well, I
I've heard
okay,
hold up.
but
I also heard yeah, I also heard that you know women might have some rights in certain places in society but still are undervalued in other places, mostly economic. So do you agree, do you disagree, what are your opinions?
like all the receipts, all the data proves otherwise. So I don't even understand why people are saying that. But I
Okay.
mean, if you show me with some laws, with some statistics
Yeah.
on income, and then
Yeah.
you want to say women have more rights, show me where.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So let me just I'll give you an anecdote. Um
I
I'm
don't. Anecdotes are not. It's not. Anecdotes are
No,
not
no,
proof.
no. Okay, I get it. I just don't have it. I don't have it on. No, no. I get it. I just don't have it.
These men are out here saying, look. If you Google right now, United
Yeah,
Nations goals,
yeah,
gender equality is always. It has been like this for decades. It's
yeah.
always empowering girls and women. Why don't they ever say they want to empower men? Because
Mm,
men are hold all of the political, economic, and social power in the world. The vast
yeah,
majority of it.
yeah.
Look at
But
all
some would
their politicians. Look at all their
but some
CEOs.
would say
Owns all the resources and
yeah.
controls all the resources.
But there are examples of women, for example, of
I need,
give me hold on. There are some examples of women literally lying about rape, getting beat, and all this from a man. They get arrested. They go up and beyond just to prove their innocence. And when they are proved innocent,
I
the
need some
women don't go to jail.
I need some data on that because the vast majority of rape convictions go
Yeah.
uncompleted anyway. So I
Yeah,
don't
again, I don't have the data. Again,
you
it's just
know,
Imma just go by anecdotes. So that's the reason why I said it.
and
Yeah.
that I mean man could be lying too. You need to look
Mm,
at court records. Like are these or do these rape cases actually end in convictions? Because the vast majority of any crime case doesn't end in a conviction.
that's true. Okay. I see I do see your point. I might be in the again, the anecdotes that I'm talking about
I
could be
just that just
could be
stay away.
that 1%. It could be that
It's
1% out of the 99%.
it's
I'm
best
sorry,
to stick
what?
with the numbers. It's best to stick with the numbers because
Yeah.
men lie, women lie, right? What is
Yeah,
really happening?
no,
What is really
yeah.
happening? Who's really going to jail for what?
Okay.
Who really got the money in their bank account?
Gotcha.
Who really are the representatives for our local governments, state governments, and federal government? Who are these people?
Mm,
They not women.
mm,
So I mean, it's just
mm.
a bunch of dusty men crying about why all the other men got power and they want to scapegoat and
I
talk about the
I will I will say one thing that yo, I swear to God, every time
it's like, nah, these men who are higher level than you got the
yeah,
power, and you bad, so you want to blame the women. No.
Yeah, I will say one thing that you do bring up a really good point that in every institution there is always programs in there to help women out, and it kind of proves your point in a way. Um, what are your thoughts on the whole relationship nowadays? Do you think is going through a bad path? Do you think is going through a good path? What's your opinion on that?
I mean, I don't really look at it as good or bad. I just look at it as like it is what it is.
Gotcha.
I think people. I really hope. My hope is that everyone will sit back and kind of observe what's happening and
Yeah.
let their observations inform their decisions on relationships. Like,
Yeah. Gotcha.
looking around, like I'm looking at a lot of single mothers, and I'm like, you know what? And I'm looking at a lot of women being abused, and I'm
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
I
think this
I
is backed up to. I just don't think this is, you know,
gotcha. I feel you. Um,
not what it's
I
hyped up
do.
to be. It's not what it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, I do see it both ways because in situations like that, I always say, and I've always said this. I always say, there's never a victim. There's always two at fault. And yeah, one could be more victimized than the other. I get that, but there's always two at fault. There's always red flags that get ignored. There's always certain little attitudes or little certain things that doesn't get corrected right away. So I always say it's two at fault. You can't always have one. But my next question is no, well, actually, the main reason why I even asked, what do you think about relationship nowadays is because you hear the narrative and you hear some of the things that people ask, saying that women are being too loose now, and
Mm,
where are the traditional values of women? And there's certain men that are saying, I want a traditional woman, I want this and this and this, but yet
mhm,
always I see the contradictory in that because
mhm.
yet they always give the attention to the loose woman, so-called loose women. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that a society and social media is making women a little bit more loose and stuff, and
You know,
kind of diluting some of the traditional values of certain what men want from women?
I like this question. I like this question so much. So how do I'm trying to think where should I approach this question. I like that you mentioned the hypocritical nature of saying that you want a traditional woman, but at the same time you on Instagram liking all these swimsuit models and
Yeah,
all these,
yeah.
like
The
okay, so but the girl that go to church every week,
exactly,
you ain't checking for her
exactly.
because she wearing a long church skirt, ain't showing nothing.
Mhm, mhm,
She ain't showing,
mhm,
and you're not looking for her. You're not checking for her.
mhm.
A lady walk by with big boobs, big butt, mini skirt, weave,
Yeah,
lashes.
yep,
You checking for her, long nails.
yeah, exactly.
What are you looking at? Because those are the girls you are following on Instagram, following on TikTok, looking at their lingerie hauls and try-ons on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm not subscribed to none of those.
You know
Yeah.
what it is? Now, I'm just saying this. I think a lot of women are realizing that men do indeed control the vast majority of resources in this world, though it may be a
Mm,
few men, right? Not most, right? Because most
yeah,
of us
yeah,
don't control most things, right?
yeah, yeah,
Um, and they realize that men typically have better access to securing resources. Like, for example, in America, men will not
yeah,
have to, men do not get the shorter end of the stick when it comes to the wage gap. Explain
yeah,
that. We still have a wage gap.
yeah,
We
yeah,
still have men suffering when they do get pregnant. They have to take maternity leave, and oftentimes it's unpaid. Women have to face gender discrimination during the hiring process, sexual harassment. I mean, there's just so many. The way everything is set up, it really was built for men to go out of the house and work, right? So a lot of women are like, men are always looking at these Instagram models.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start looking like one of them. They paid. These women are. Maybe I should go get a BBL, get a boob job. These women are. They are. A lot of them are paid.
Yeah.
Like, didn't Cardi B? I think Cardi B gave an interview once, and she said she would write songs about more conscious things, and then nobody would listen to it. But as soon as she made these hypersexualized songs, WAP for an example, it blew up. So it's like, it's just, it's going back to the comment about hypocrisy. It's supply and demand, right? Like, you cannot shame the women that you actively consume. If you are consuming if you're consuming the music that Cardi B creates, the Cardi B's of the world, if you are consuming the performances that strippers and dancers and OnlyFans creators make, how you gonna be mad at them? Like, how you gonna be mad? They don't exist without you actively consuming what they produce.
Yeah,
they don't
that's true.
exist. Prostitutes don't exist. Strippers don't exist. OnlyFans creators don't exist. Video hoes the Cardi B's of the world do not exist without men actively seeking and giving their patronage to these women.
Exactly. And these women are straight to the bank. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel I feel what you're saying, and I agree to that. My thing. Well, you mentioned the wage gap a few times in this interview, and certain people would say, there is no wage gap. You're just capping. All this other stuff because I work at Wendy's and all my coworkers who are female get paid the same as me. You know what I'm saying? And I think some people fail to realize lower service jobs, somewhat lower to close to mid-tier jobs, you're not going to see that drastic dynamic of the wage gap. When people are referring to the wage gap, they're talking about mid to high tier type of professional jobs, to the point where a board member would not a board member. I'll say a CFO or I don't know, a secretary of a CFO will get paid drastically less than a male counterpart that actually does that same job. I've actually seen and been a part in certain jobs where these type of things happen. Quick story: a female secretary that's a secretary of the CEO of a job, of a building, and a gay male who is also a secretary of the CFO. Homie was getting paid literally 5 times more than she was, and mind you, he was new. So I do see that whole dynamic. You know what I mean?
And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know all the data on this, but it's definitely out there. We can find it. If we both did a quick Google search, we'd find that wage gap is very real, because large research institutions, universities, think tanks wouldn't be producing this knowledge if it wasn't true and verified and peer reviewed, right? Like, they don't do that. So it's kind of like, and a lot of these institutions are, they're run by men. So why would they, you know what I mean? Like, universities, political, like, come on. So I mean, it's real, and I'm not sure, Radical. I don't know if it's only in mid to high tier level jobs. I mean, my first job was definitely at Wendy's. I was like 16. First real, like, okay, you getting a pay stub, job, W-2. It was at Wendy's, and I remember my manager was like, look, we understand you want to work and everything, but, this guy, he has kids, so we're just going to give him the extra hours. We're going to send you home. Okay. And I understand that because he had kids, but it's just like, and there was an age gap, but it's like, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I guess we would have to look at the data, but I don't know. I have a feeling it does happen. And of course the gap isn't going to be the gulf between different salaries isn't going to be that big because it's only so much you can make at Wendy's or other jobs, right? But I do feel like there is still a gap. So
Is it her?
even though it might be much smaller, I don't know. You're gonna have to look at the data, and having kids, but still, I do think societal's view as a man that has to provide for a larger family, they will give men priority because usually the assumption is that, that man has a family to take care of. And the assumption for women is often, she probably has a man that maybe takes care of her, so she doesn't need as much money. Her husband will take care of her. Right? So I just feel like that also goes into the decision making as to why women get paid less.
Gotcha. Do you think some of the traditional roles in relationships are overplayed now? Again, going back to the previous question that I asked, how some men want traditional women and all this other stuff. Do you think those whole role dynamics is overplayed?
I feel like it depends on who you ask and everyone's individual personal preference, right? I don't feel like there's anything wrong with people choosing the life they want to live, right? I'll just tell you this, I personally do not want a man who wants to rest in his femininity. I would rather be the feminine energy provider of a relationship. I don't want to be the one running around working. And if I gotta work, I'm single. What's the point? Now, managing investments is different. If I have to work, if I have to go and work up under some other man all day, I'm single. And I probably got a better relationship with my boss than my own man at home because I'm up under him 8 hours a day. Not that I do that, I'm a grad student and it's a lot of work at home, writing on your own, a lot of independent work. But in general, it's you want me to lay down and risk my life.
Yeah.
You want access to my body and you got me out here working. You don't care about me.
Yeah. But do you think that, nowadays in the modern age, and because of the cost of certain things, lifestyles, do you think that at least a two-parent household, that dynamic of two parents working is becoming more of a common thing than less common?
I do think it's becoming common, and I think, but I think it's mostly prevalent with people who really would benefit from that arrangement, two people who maybe occupy the lower rungs of socioeconomic hierarchy, and it does work to have okay, you don't make that much, I don't make that much, so we're gonna both work and we're gonna both help pay half this rent, right?
Gotcha.
But people who have money, it's I'm comfortable. I will not be in a relationship with a man if I gotta work. Now, will I date? Yeah, sure, I'll date. I will date. Yeah. But will I be in a committed, exclusive relationship with a man and I'm working? No. If you're not giving me relief in that way, so that I can truly rest in my femininity, as they say, I'm not interested in a relationship. I'd much rather just be chilling, single, doing my own thing, because I'm already working.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I think a lot of men don't understand is that men expect a lot of labor from women, and a lot of times this labor is not quantified in a way, right? A lot of emotional labor, a lot of domestic labor, a lot of intimate labor, and it's just
yeah.
I mean, like, you want me to go out and work like a man like you, and then come home and cook and clean, do all this domestic labor, have the job of a cook, have the job of a maid, and if there's kids involved, have the job of a nanny, right?
Yeah.
Have the job, have sex with you, have a job of a sex worker, and then I'm working so much harder than you. That's a scam. That's a scam.
Mm,
That's a scam.
mm. Um, some
Especially if
people,
you're providing and like giving the opportunity
yeah,
to not have to work a job.
yeah. Some people might say that you got a roof over your head, so
Mhm.
that's your contribution to the whole, to the whole,
So, I mean, I also pay.
staying at home type of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
But then we're talking about someone who does all of that, like who works
yeah.
and does all the domestic labor.
Ah, okay,
So, I mean, like, so if a woman works, like she's probably paying for that,
gotcha.
roof, so the man can't be like, I put
But
this roof. No, I put
so
it.
so so let me ask. So if the man does all the financial, laboring, all that other stuff to for set roof, and you're staying at home, then you don't mind doing all the domestic chores, right?
Personally, I mean, I don't. I automatically don't mind cleaning. I clean all the time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not a maid. Like, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Cider. I
Okay.
mean, I'm
Well, this about okay. This I think she's about to go in. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
so it's just. Have you ever heard of the joke that said? There's a joke. There's like this old joke that said,
Okay.
um, "Why did the rich man marry his maid?"
Because Shorty had a BBL. I don't know.
So he
I don't know.
so he didn't have to pay her.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
he married her because it's like, oh yeah,
Gotcha.
a
Gotcha.
lot.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Gotcha.
I'm telling you, radical. Like, I've had a lot of men. Like, even I think recently, honestly, this gay guy
Yeah.
tried to get with me. I don't know. Like, I thought he was gay. I was getting gay vibes. He may have been bi, and I'm like looking at him like, you don't. Do you even like women? Like, why are you in my face?
Yeah.
And like, why are you trying so hard? Like, and the
Yeah.
thing is, okay, come to find out, he ran kind of like a nonprofit organization, and he really wanted some labor. And so he was like, "Oh, if I try to woo this girl and try to get her with me, she'll give me all this free labor." I feel like a lot of men try to partner with women because they do want a lot of this free labor, want this domestic labor,
Mm.
they want this intimate labor, they want this emotional labor. And if you think about, I've read some feminist Marxist theory in one of my last classes last year.
Yeah.
And it's called Revolutionary Technologies, which is weird. I'm like, why are we reading feminist Marxist theory? But it was cool.
Yeah.
I was so happy I started reading because it's literature by a woman named Catherine McKinnon. And
Hmm.
she understand that it was in the house where men were able to appropriate female labor so that they could go out of the house
Mm.
and work in the world and be free from that domestic labor. Because remember, back in the day, they didn't have washing machines, they didn't have dishwashers. That was a
Yeah.
lot of work, like keeping at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah. Women were everything. They were the everything in the household. So yeah.
Really needed women to kind of keep everything in order so that he could have that freedom, that free time that he probably would have. So that's not that sounds like
Gotcha. So, well, which is a good segue when you talk about.
I understand there was a real trade-off back then because
Yeah.
women,
Yeah.
in a lot of cases, women, it was
Wh-
illegal to have,
which is
you
which is
know,
which is which is why I'm glad you said that about back in the day, because now uh what do you think about the masculinity mindset nowadays? Do you think men are asking for too much for modern women, or do you think that modern women are having their ideologies diluted due to social media and stuff like that? But But basically, just the masculine mindset. What do you think about that nowadays? Do you think that it shouldn't even happen or whatever the case is? Because you do make a good point about back in the day how women, what it was a good trade off when men worked and women actually stood in the home
But
and
now
stuff.
I just feel like the trade off isn't as good because
Yeah,
women can work now. Even though they make less than men, they still can
yeah,
do their own thing and not be a man's maid and not have to be, stuck to that one man. You know what I mean?
hmm
Um, Women, we all know that women typically have more options than men while dating, typically. Um, so it's kind of like a woman could get a lot more if she stayed single and detached because a lot of men will compete. A lot of men
gotcha.
will be like, okay, well, I'll help you with this, or I'll hook you up with this, or you know what I mean, or
Yeah,
I'll add this value to your life in order to
yeah,
compete to get the woman in an exclusive relationship. Because I feel like, you know, I'm more of like a realist in this situation. I really like to detach emotions and all that like boo boo and
yeah,
love stuff. It's really relationships are negotiations. Like I have
yeah.
something you need, you have something I need. How can we work together to accomplish our goals?
True.
Um, Now it's kind of like, if you attach yourself to one man and he's really not leveling you up or elevating you, you
Yeah,
really missing out. You missing out on all the dudes that would, help you a little here, give you a little gift here. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because you got
Okay.
more.
Yeah.
So it's just like I just feel like it doesn't benefit women to stick with one man unless he is truly elevating her.
Got it. Now, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. Is that and I've heard some theories on the fact that because of that, so most women are actually I'm starting to see most women on that mindset. There's no reason for me to date you or be with you long term if we're both not going to build together. Is the and I'm seeing the whole transgender thing happen now. So do you think transgender do you think no, well, hold on, wait. So do you think transgender women are diluting the struggle of women that came and fought for rights for women? Do you think that that is something that's happening now? Do you agree to it? Do you disagree with it?
Um, I understand that, from living in other countries, and reading about other countries that gender is fluid and just similar to race and ethnicity. Um, Gender is an identity that can be constructed, socially constructed. Like there are
Yeah.
some societies in Southeast Asia, particularly in Oceania, that they have like three genders, and it's like common and you know.
Mm,
So, I mean, I think it's interesting to watch all of this change. I really don't see how the like this large emergence of transgender women. I don't necessarily see them taking any away from women's rights per se.
yeah.
Um, but I do think it can get a little sticky around. It does seem as though it can seem as though transgender women, how do I say this? It just seems
Take your
as like
time.
it seems like another example of how men can, manipulate and mold women's identity. Like I don't think it really disrupts. I don't think transgender women or the emergence of it really disrupts patriarchy. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't know. I mean, people
That,
gonna do what they wanna do. I would never
gotcha.
try to prevent someone from changing their sex, but I just
Yeah.
think there is something a little. There's something to it where I'm like, wow, this kind of looks like another case of men just kind of like trying to dictate. the women the identity of being a woman. Like,
And that's the reason why I asked this question, is because it feels like women fought for certain rights, certain abortion rights, certain liberties for women, and because of that, I have seen, and there's certain cases where transgender women who were men that transgender into women are now using those type of loopholes for their own benefits that were there for biological women. So this is the reason why I asked.
but then
And
there's
now
another, but there's also another side to it, right?
yeah,
Which is like, if someone says something like that, I have seen clapbacks where people are like, yo, I can tell you, like, I've seen transgender women say, like, I can tell you from firsthand experience that no one goes through that transition process to become a woman because they were looking for more privilege. Because they will tell you, I've had way more privilege when I was a man. Like, people will ignore me now.
mm,
Man, people will not listen to me. People will disrespect me. People will not address me. Like, they talk about that kind of that downgrade in social position when they transition into a woman. So I don't
mm,
I don't really think they're getting any type of, I really don't think trans women,
yeah,
I mean, honestly, that's like a white person turning himself black. Like, come on, like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like,
No, so
like,
I want,
you
let's go with,
you're
yeah,
gonna have
yeah,
a lot,
yeah.
a lot less like opportunities if
Yeah,
you go white to black.
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Like the reason why I say that is because let's go into the whole sports thing with the whole transgender athletes, right? There are cases of transgender athletes outperforming
Mm,
certain things that women held
mm.
records for, and these transgender women are just coming in here shattering, not
You know,
not but
mhm,
not only shattering records, but
mhm.
based on those shattered records, now they're getting scholarships, they're getting money, and they're actually getting some notoriety because of that. So that's the reason why I feel like it's a little unfair. What are your thoughts on that?
Now that definitely shifts the conversation. Yeah, for sure. I can see how that's a problem. And I haven't, honestly, Radical, I haven't given um, as much time to think about it because, I'm working with my little cousin right now. He's a senior in high school. He's an athlete. I mean,
Yeah.
I was a nerd. Like, I rarely think about athletics. So I would be the wrong person to
Okay.
ask about it, but it does seem to be very problematic. I mean, like, I have no type of expertise or any type of like emotional investment in sports or athletics, but if I were a leader in that world, I probably would.
Gotcha.
I probably would not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you.
I would not be an advocate of um, mixing people who were born female and people who were born male together to compete in athletics, because we all know the typical physical differences between males and females, right? Like, in our skill
Yeah,
set.
yeah. Gotcha. Exactly, exactly.
Like,
Well,
they don't, just like
so
how they don't mix, just like even in jail, they don't really mix. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know. Do
well,
they?
yeah,
Have you ever put
no,
in trans?
in jail, no, in jail they're separate. Men and women. Now the thing is, because of now these certain laws, for example, California now, you don't even have to prove in your birth certificate or a redefining of your birth certificate. You could literally go to the DMV and just check a box saying that you're female now, and now it's on your ID that you are a female. Now, when these individuals are going to jail, they're going to be placed in female holding pens and female jails. Now, there's certain cases now that certain men did that, and women are coming, in these jails are becoming pregnant because of that. So there is a dynamic to that, and that's the reason why I asked,
Mm,
because since we know there is a physical and genetic difference between women and men,
mhm.
and this whole transgender thing is happening now, I feel like the whole fight for the liberation of women is being diluted because of the transgender women. You know what I'm saying?
But could you give me just another example of how, like, what are women losing? So you mentioned athletics.
Yeah.
So it's the only real arena where claim that women are losing out, like when they compete. It's
Well,
a
that's actually that's the only thing that I'm gonna say that women are losing out because
maybe.
because of this. That it's the scholarships and the money that is actually being allocated
Mhm.
to these transgender women being funneled because of those type of sports. And let's be real, in the Bible Belt and in most of these southern states, the majority of the money that goes into these schools are from athletic sports. And because of that, these athletes are, either generating or being the candidates to generate tons and tons of money. So that's the
Right.
reason why I pose this type of
Well, I
question.
can definitely see how that's a problem, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. And I think, I mean, if anyone's going to have this conversation, um, that could inform policy, I
Yeah.
think maybe that is an aspect, that is a realm of society that maybe should be taken into account a little differently.
Gotcha.
Uh,
Now, I'm gonna pivot just a little bit, to my past live stream that you were a gracious participant in. You said certain things that a lot of people found an issue with. For
mhm.
example, you said that the majority of black women die in the hands of black men, and when you stated a study, which I'm a post right here, boom, you stated such study, uh, I, which was you were correct, but it failed. The study failed to say black men are the cause of black women
Implied,
suffering and
implied,
loss of life and stuff like
it's
that.
implied
Yeah.
in the
So
black
when I
primarily date black men.
no wait, I get it. I wanna segue to that. So the study didn't show that. So when I asked you on it saying that, listen, the study doesn't show that, you said, well, the other there's another avenue on this saying that the majority of black women don't date out. They actually do date black men. So you could probably put two and two together. And I said that, oh, I believe that's a straw man argument. And you countered with, well, if you actually use the common sense of it, maybe it'll make sense, right? So what so a lot of people found, especially a lot of men found
I
that
mean, we could just
to
simply
be
use.
true.
I mean, we could just
Well,
let's just use logic. 8 out of 10 black women
okay.
will stay with a black man. 8 out of 10. Now,
Yeah.
if for boyfriends, partners, husbands, all of that, right? It's probably higher than that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Now, if you read the data for, I think it's called the Institute for Policy on Women, I think it's not up actually. I
Yeah.
don't see, but
No,
it
no, no, no.
says
I'm gonna do this when I'm editing. I'm gonna put it up. Don't worry about it.
so. And if you read it, it says black women face domestic violence or violence from their intimate partners higher than the rates that Latina, Asian, and white women face.
Yeah.
Who are black men? Who are black women dating? They're not dating white men primarily. They're not dating out primarily. They are dating
Yeah.
black men. So who are their intimate partners? I mean, it's not that
Mm.
hard. It's not a straw man argument.
Yeah.
It's a fact. I understand that people were
Yeah.
mad, and they called it bashing, and it's just like, why is talking about the violence that's perpetuated against women called bashing?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
like saying that's like a white person's. That's like you complaining about racism, and a white person is like, you're white person bashing.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
Y'all can understand that, but y'all
Yeah.
can't understand it when it comes to men and women. And
Yeah.
maybe it's because men of color um typically don't have as much power and control as many resources as white men, and so they feel as though you know, they constantly have to compare themselves or compete with women, but that's not good. I mean, like, I don't understand why so many of these men are comparing themselves to women. Like,
Gotcha.
you know, and if a
Gotcha.
person, if me talking about how Black women face higher rates of domestic and intimate, or if me talking about how Black women face higher rates of intimate partner violence than Asian, white, and Latino women constitute as Black male bashing, then you'd have to really question what the motive is for you saying that. The motive is you saying, don't tell on us, be quiet, don't talk about the violence we perpetuate against our women. Talk about only the violence that white men are inflicting on us. How dare you mention how Black women are experiencing violence at higher rates than all these other women? How dare you say that? Stay in your place and support Black men, even though they're being violent against you. Like, it's like, I mean, it's typical oppression, oppressive behavior. And I mean, we should expect that from any type of privileged person, to assert their privilege and to try to silence anyone that, like, you know how white people try to silence people of color by saying, oh my gosh, you hate white people. This is white people hate because you're talking about how we're racist against you. No.
Yeah.
Stop being racist. Stop being effed up. Stop perpetuating systemic violence on us. We're not talking about it.
Gotcha.
But I'm not gonna be.
Gotcha.
I just don't think. I would hope Black women do what is in their best interest, and that is to speak out against issues that negatively impact Black women. And this is a huge issue.
Gotcha.
Let's not even get into sexual assault for Black women. That's a form of violence. That's higher than white, Asian, Latino women as well. The only exception is Native women. That is the only exception. They experience all of this at higher rates than all of us. But
Native women, you said, right?
Yeah, Native women, Indigenous women.
Yeah.
Now, for Black women, we experience this higher than Asian, Latina, and white women.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, if speaking about that, Black bashing, I don't know.
I want to read some comments that I've gotten personally, and I've got sent some comments. So one of the comments, basically, I think I sent you one. I'm not too sure. But what? Yeah. Okay. One of the comments said that you're a Black man hating divester. What would you say to that?
I would say that if I really hated Black men, I would just tell all of you, you are doing a wonderful job. Keep doing what you're doing. If I really hated Black men, I would tell Black men, you know what? Keep doing what you are doing. Keep it up. Because doing what you're doing is going to keep you exactly where you are. And where are Black men in America? Where are they? A large percentage of them are locked up in cages right now. So if I tell Black men, keep doing what you're doing, Black men, keep operating, you're doing a wonderful job. Keep it up. That'll keep them exactly where they are. And many of them are locked up in cages. Many of them are getting shot down by the police for no reason. So and many of them, honestly, economically are at the bottom of the food chain. So if I hated them, I would say, keep it up. You're doing a great job.
Gotcha. Two more questions, and then we'll wrap it up. What are your thoughts on the Me Too movement now? Some people will say that the Me Too movement is toxic, going after Black men in general, and they don't punish white men like they should.
Like Bill Cosby.
I'm sorry, what?
Like Bill Cosby?
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the whole Me Too movement?
So again, nothing has changed in America, right? Like, I remember there was this old that said, when white America catches the cold, Black America catches the flu, right? We already know nothing is set up to our advantage. So that would mean if Black men understand that they're not in a society that will be as forgiving to them as they are to white men, just like Black women know, right? We know.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do to make sure you're not caught up in that mess. I mean, I remember I had a friend that came to me and was like, "Oh, these black guys are now being convicted. They're on charge. You know, they've been charged with murder. Not convicted. They've been charged with murder of this white girl that they both had a threesome with.
Yeah.
And then she ended up ODing afterwards, and now they think they killed her because they caught footage of them leaving her room at like some hotel room, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like, do we not learn? Do y'all not learn from Emmett Till? They messing with these women. It's like, okay, not that I'm saying that like that gives them a free pass to exploit and prey on non-white women.
Yeah.
But particularly with white women, you know the type of power they have.
That's true.
You already know. It's like y'all will sit there and cry over Emmett Till on these little live streams, but then get up and do the same thing or worse. So it's like, yo, it's like, how much can Black America, how much can Black women encourage Black? Look, at this point, it's like, look, y'all on your own. Y'all talk about how y'all don't want to protect Black women. Do not seek any type of support from Black women because you want to go have fun with all these white women that you lust after so much.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and they do what white women do. Like you don't. It's like you don't know what white women do. They do.
Yeah.
So nobody look. How many times can Black men be warned?
Yeah, that's true.
Still doing the same thing.
That's absolutely true. And I agree to that. I actually.
And they will always be the first ones talking about Black women don't take accountability. Black women don't take accountability. But Black women are what 74% single mothers. They take care of their kids that you leave behind.
Yeah.
They finish college at higher rates than Asian men. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. They don't take 80% of Black households have a female breadwinner.
Yeah.
Y'all don't take accountability.
Yeah. Some people might call you a little bitter because of these type of statements. You know what I'm saying? What would you say to that?
Why am I bitter? Like, look, they want to continue to do that. They're gonna have to keep going through the consequences.
Gotcha.
You want to be Emmett Till, point 2.
You know? Yeah.
If you want to be that, that's your decision.
Gotcha.
Have accountability for your life.
Gotcha. We're gonna start wrapping it up now. What would your final affirmations be? You know, obviously I asked you some like hard hitting questions, some jarring questions and stuff. You kind of went off. You know what I'm saying? What would your last thoughts and affirmations be?
I would say that it's important to know. It's important to be aware. I would say that awareness is key. And read. Why don't you just pick up a book and read? You know, read some articles and an actual book, actual encyclopedias, actual news articles. Read.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just say stuff off of feelings. They don't look at things objectively.
Gotcha.
And honestly, stop. I mean, look, if this is what you feel like you have to do, I can't change it. But identifying with being a victim will only keep you as a victim. I mean, it's one thing to understand that the odds are stacked against you and to strategize around it, build up an awareness so that you can strategize around it and change that fact.
Yeah.
Still win at the game because it's a game, right?
Yeah.
And it's another thing to be like, oh, I'm a victim. Can't nothing change? You're bashing me because I'm a victim.
Mhm.
It's like you giving outsiders, you giving other people way too much power over your life.
True. That's true.
Way too much power. You act
That's
like
true.
you're acting like you have absolutely no agency and no control over your own life.
Yeah.
And I just feel like honestly, a lot of people are like
Yeah.
that, and it's sad. I just think a lot of the people that call me a black male basher, I mean,
Yeah.
you probably identify as being a victim, and you feel as though you have no control over your life, you have no agency,
Mm.
and so you want to blame everyone, you want to shame
Mm.
everyone.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you can do for self. Do it for self.
Gotcha. Where can give us where they could find you at, your Instagram, your YouTube and stuff. Tell the zaddies where they could find you at. You know what I'm saying? Give the people the
So,
your
Universe Trip on YouTube, 2 words,
mhm.
Universe Trip. Hit me up on YouTube. And also on Instagram, my handle is @universe_trip. @universe.trip.
And everything will be on the comments down below. With that being said, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace. Okay. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode, that interview with Universe Trip. Is there anything you guys agreed with? Is there anything you guys disagreed with? Let me know on the comments below. I know the comments are gonna be litty, right? So hopefully she comes and joins me for the next live that I'm gonna have. It's definitely gonna be about relationships, so definitely stay tuned to that. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. All the details to follow Universe and follow her or send her good messages, positive messages, or negative messages, right? Everything will be on the details section of the podcast or link down below if you guys are seeing this on YouTube, right? And also, by the way, this episode for the interview part was visual, so definitely shout out to y'all. You know what I'm saying? And if you guys want to see it visually, definitely go to my YouTube channel and check it out visually. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Now I'm going to leave you guys, but before I do, hold on, just real quick. This episode is sponsored by, I gotta do another shameless plug, you know what I'm saying? Gotta do another shameless plug. But this episode is sponsored by my merch store. So if you guys want to go cop one of my wonderful merches, like the Latin Unity shirt, the Black and Latin Unity shirt, it's in my DNA Mexico, it's in my DNA Dominican Republic, it's in my DNA Puerto Rico and stuff like that. Go cop it now. This is literally going to be the last week. After this, you guys will not have it until next year. All right, until next year, until the summer starts up again. And yes, I did start. This is the first time I started a little merch run. I started it a little late. It's all good. Don't worry about it. But definitely go cop that. I always do a limited run and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna leave you guys with one of my 2 favorite quotes. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. And if Black and brown unity does not happen within my lifetime, I might not change the world, but I might inspire the mind that will. With that being said, I'm going to catch y'all later. Peace.